the conditions which are found generally in the ITCZ, they are referred to as the doldrums. Okay. Sometimes, however, within this zone, there is also presence of equatorial westerlies. So, first in line will be the conditions which are found in the ITCZ. ITCZ. So, this is the conditions. Can you see? In fact, first if I start with the conditions which are found generally in the ITCZ, they are referred to as the doldrums. Okay. Sometimes, however, within this zone, there is also presence of equatorial westerlies. So, let us see. Conditions within the ITCZ, what is there? We have seen that as the trade winds converge, we have seen that as the trade winds are converging, there is slow rise of these trade winds in this zone of ITCZ. So, that is slow rise of trade winds is taking place as they are converging in this zone. And this slow rise leads to presence of very calm conditions. Can you understand that these calm conditions are related with high temperature throughout? So, one, there is high temperature throughout the zone, and also there is very low Coriolis force or negligible Coriolis force. So, again we will see if very less Coriolis force is there, disturbances like cyclones would not be formed. So, here in essence what is happening, because there is general slow rise of air taking place, there is very calm conditions which are found, and these calm conditions are referred to as the doldrums. Here in this picture I have tried to show you the calm conditions, almost near absence of horizontal winds is found in this zone. Can you see? Very calm conditions, hardly any waves found. So, such calm conditions are referred to as the conditions of doldrums. However, there are certain longitudes and certain seasons where we find that there is actually presence of horizontal winds in this area. And if we talk about these horizontal winds, these are referred to as the equatorial westerly winds. So, if you talk about these equatorial westerlies, first thing is they are blowing within the ITCZ. That is one of the important characteristics of these equatorial westerlies. Very important feature of these equatorial westerlies is that they are dominant in the summer season and not present in all the longitudes. They are present only in few longitudes, not everywhere. So, for example, we know that what happens to the ITCZ. So, ITCZ shifts north-south with the movement of the direct rays of the sun. So, accordingly what will happen, there will be areas where they will be formed. And if I talk about these areas, can you see? This is essentially your ITCZ. So, northern ITCZ and south ITCZ, there is a boundary of the ITCZ. So, wherever if you talk about they are blowing, or wherever the ITCZ is present, we will be finding that there will be these equatorial westerlies found. Can you understand? If this northern ITCZ shifts, we have seen they are shifting. So, can I say the zone of equatorial westerlies would become broader? It would become broader, and then what we will be finding? We will be finding that they will be more developed. So, if you talk about, can you see? This is the case of the presence of equatorial westerlies. So, this diagram here, this is essentially telling you when the ITCZ is present in the southern hemisphere, that is, if you remember, the conditions of July, and this second one is telling us the conditions which are found in January. So, can you see? Very important feature of equatorial westerlies is that they are not found everywhere. Where they are found only in few longitudes. And can you see? It is January when we are saying they are present south of the equator, that means in southern hemisphere. So, can I say they are in January they are present in the summer hemisphere? In July again, they are present north of the equator. So that means they are again present where? In the summer hemisphere. Okay. So you remember the diagram which I drew here? Can you see? I have made that westerlies where? In the summer hemisphere. So don't forget, they are essentially found in the summer hemisphere, and not everywhere. They are found only where? In few longitudes. And if we talk about these longitudes, can you see? They are most developed where? They are most developed on the ocean surfaces surrounding large continents. Surrounding large continents. Can you see here, if you look into this diagram, are they associated with mostly continents? The areas associated with continents, particularly these seas which are near these continents, that is the area where they are essentially most developed. That means their development is related something with, if you talk about continentality, it has to do something also with the aspect of continentality. Okay, we will see. So that is another important characteristics of these equatorial westerlies. One example, if you talk about of equatorial westerlies, we will see that the Indian southwest monsoon that is found in South Asia, Southeast Asia, these winds are example of the equatorial westerlies. They are actually the equatorial westerly winds. Okay. So if we talk about these equatorial westerlies, question arises that when we said that there is high temperature throughout the zone, that means there is hardly temperature differences. That means within this zone there will be hardly pressure differences. Then the question arises, and also there is lower Coriolis force. Then the question arises, how these equatorial westerlies then originate? This is a very controversial view in meteorology. There are two dominant views about that. One view says that these are essentially compensatory winds which are sandwiched between the easterly trade winds on both the sides. So we can see that here essentially what is taking place is on both the sides of these winds. Can you see? On both the sides of these winds there is easterly component in the winds, and that means if there is easterly component, there should be a compensatory flow which should be taking place. Okay, it is law of nature that there will be some kind of counter flow, compensatory flow taking place. So scientists believe that these are simply what? These are compensatory winds which are found in the zone of ITCZ. However, there is one problem in acceptance of this view. What is the problem? The problem essentially is that if we accept this view, then this phenomena should be found where? Equatorial westerly should be found in the entire ITCZ. Okay, in the entire ITCZ and in all seasons, because we will see that the trade winds, important characteristics of the trade winds is that they are very consistent. They are present throughout the year. So if equatorial westerlies are a compensatory winds against these trade winds, that means they should be present throughout the year and in all the zones. However, you know, we just now saw that this is not the case. They are found only in certain longitudes, and they are most developed when? In the summer season. Okay, so there must be some other reasons why it is like this. As a result of this, a second view has been forwarded, and this second view simply says that what they are, they represent simply modified trade winds. They are simply modified trade winds, because the trade winds with the shifting of ITCZ, as the sun direct rays are shifting, we saw ITCZ shifts. If you remember, we saw in case of East Asia, it was shifting till 30° latitude, 30° north latitude. So because of that shifting, these are forced to cross the equator, and as they cross the equator, the Coriolis will make them turn westerly. So these are simply considered, according to view 2, as the modified trade winds. If we look into this, what I am trying to say is something like this. So when there is shifting of the ITCZ, Can you see? The trade winds which are of the southern hemisphere, this is essentially our monsoons. We are calling it as the southwest monsoon. So the trade winds from the other hemisphere, what will happen? It will have to cross the equator. And as it crosses equator, can you understand? In the northern hemisphere, Coriolis will deflect the fluid movement towards its right. So they will be forced to deflect towards the right. And thus, what will happen? They will become southwesterly. So these are your essentially equatorial westerlies according to this second view. This is something like this. Further, you can understand normal condition should be like this. This is the ITC-Z. This is the objective of these winds, trade winds, to reach. But what will happen if there is shifting of the ITC-Z? This is your, now this is your ITC-Z. Here it was essentially ITC-Z. So again their objective would remain reaching to ITC-Z. So what will happen? These trade winds will have to now cross the equator. As they cross the equator, Coriolis would convert them into westerlies, and this is referred to as the equatorial westerlies. Okay, so this is the second dominant view with respect to the origin of equatorial westerlies. There is support for both the views, strong support in fact for both the views. As you can understand, this is not our area, it is not, we are not meteorologists, so we'll stop here, and this will just focus upon the characteristics of equatorial westerlies, because in the examination they will not ask you this, how they are formed. In general, you should know, however, how they are formed. So there are two diverging views. More importantly, in the examination, they can ask you about the questions related with their characteristics. For example, there can be statements which can say that southwest monsoon winds represent equatorial westerly winds. So again, that statement would be correct, or other statements which we had written. So that is the conditions which are found in the ITC-Z. Okay, so that is the equatorial westerlies.